Nice medic pick, let's go. Sniping with the bison. Crit bison.
Yo, what is up? All of the footage that you have just seen and will continue to see was taken on the best community server in TF2 called castaway.tf. Currently, we are running servers using a specific plugin that brings back the balancing of Team Fortress 2 to the good old days, the 2014, pre-gunmetal, 10 fucking years ago. And I already had a fucking blast playing with this plugin. It is amazing how much more fun this game is when you actually have unlocks that are useful, that are satisfying, that are fun to use. It's not a fucking surprise. You don't need to be a fucking genius to figure it out that having more options that you can use to actually play the game makes the game more fun significantly. And some of these unlocks, like the Sandman and the Ambassador, were some of my favorite things to use in the entire game. And for years, I've been fucking pissed off that I can't actually use them and they're complete trash. And now I actually got the opportunity to re-experience those weapons using this plugin. And I got to play with it. And it is just as fucking good as I remember. And it really just hammered down the point that I already fucking knew 100%, but some assholes are still denying to this day. It hammered home the point of how much better this game was back in the day, how much more fun it was 10 years ago. Getting to play with the old quick play rule set on Castaway was already the most fun I've had with this game in fucking years. And now on top of that, getting to play with the quick play era balancing as well, it is absolutely fucking amazing. And it feels great to have the opportunity to re-experience all of these awesome weapons that this game used to have before they were absolutely butchered by horrific, unjustified, bullshit-ass nerfs in 2015 and onwards, especially in Jungle Inferno. It really puts it into perspective just how shitty the balancing in TF2 is today in the vanilla game, just how fucking terrible it is with all of these useless, pointless, shitty, dead fucking weapons that we have. And of course, we have to note the fact that as of now, we have not had a substantial change in weapon balancing in about 6 years. You know, you'd think that if we haven't had changes in 6 years to weapon balancing, that must mean that we have just reached the pinnacle, the apex, the peak of TF2 weapon balance. Well, why would you change anything? Every unlock in this game is just perfect already. So, that's why there hasn't been any changes in over half a fucking decade by now. The very sad truth is that TF2 weapon balancing as it exists today, and as it has existed since Blue Moon, is fucking god-awful. The amount of useless weapons that we have in this game is just staggering, And it really is incredible that they decided to abandon TF2 weapon balancing right after they fucking ruined so many fucking unlocks in this game that used to be awesome. So many satisfying weapons that I could have used before are now just completely fucking useless. And, this is basically par for the course for a lot of multiplayer games these days. You have something that is fun, satisfying to use, and you have a balance patch that comes out and just completely ruins it. And you constantly have these situations where playstyles that you could have used, that you did use, that you enjoyed using, are just suddenly fucking unceremoniously fucking destroyed, burned, and fucking buried in a ditch. And considering the fact that it's been so long since the last time Valve actually touched weapon balancing in this game, it is very safe to assume that the state of TF2 weapon balancing is never going to get any better, and it's never going to change again. That's a safe assumption. As depressing as it is, that is very probable. But hey, there's a bit of a silver lining that you can find here. I mean, yeah, 90% of the unlocks in this game are useless fucking garbage, but if Valve's never going to touch the balancing again, at least the 10%, like the very few unlocks in this game that aren't dog shit yet, at least they're not going to ruin those. So, count your blessings, guys. You never know. It could always get worse. The way that things work with TF2 is that you should never expect Valve to do anything good ever again. The only way you can actually fix the problems in this game, the severe issues plaguing this game, is if you stop depending on Valve completely. The solution is only possible if it comes from the community. Because Valve does not give a flying fuck if this game sucks. They don't care. Like, they have no incentive to fix it. The people who play this game to this day, all the time, we actually do have an incentive to fix it because we want our game to not be fucking hot garbage. Due to plugins like this, we don't have to sit there with this dog shit balancing, waiting for Valve to get their fucking thumb out their ass and actually do something good for this game and make it more fun. Because that's probably not going to happen. Due to plugins like this, we can actually mitigate some of the damage done to the balancing of this game and at least revert it to a better state, to a better time, a better era of balancing in Team Fortress 2. This plugin strives to bring back all the weapons and to make the balancing of TF2 the way it was in 2014, right before gunmetal. And it brings back all of these weapons that were just gutted and destroyed in the past decade. So if you're somebody that has never played this game during this era, if you're somebody that installed the game post Jungle Inferno and you have no idea what the game's balancing used to be like, well, you can try it out and see for yourself. If you have been fed like propaganda about how the Sandman used to break the game and how the Ambassador makes the spy overpowered and it just ruins the game, well, hey, you can now try that out for yourself. And to those fucking douchebags that actually still propagate this nonsense, by all means, feel free to join the server when we're having one of our sessions. Equip the Sandman, equip the Ambassador, and show me how these weapons break the game. Show me how these weapons are overpowered. Show me how good you are with these weapons and how you're going to shut down the server. And you will be forced to realize just how full of shit you truly are. And if you played this game back in the day and you missed the way this game used to be, balancing-wise, and you want to re-experience the weapons that were taken from you and fucking destroyed and thrown in the trash, well, you have a chance to do that. Now, as far as the issues with this plugin and playing with it, like, before I played with it, I imagined the biggest problem would be that literally everyone on the server would be either a fucking Sandman scout or an Ambassador spy, and everyone would be using like 2 loadouts, and that would be the entire server. But that's actually not how it is at all, and it really just feels like a normal game of TF2, but back in the day, with all of these options that you can select. There was an issue with some bugs with the plugin, where some items didn't work the way they should. But once again, shoutouts to the guy who's making the plugin, Not in Heavy. He's still working on it, and we've been reporting the bugs to him, and he's been fixing them. The biggest issue with this plugin as of now is a matter of optimization, because in some specific situations, on some specific maps, when the server is completely full, we start having some serious fucking lag. And of course, that is understandable, considering this guy had to reverse engineer every single fucking weapon in this game to work the way it did 10 years ago. Obviously, some issues are bound to pop up, but he is fixing them, and this plugin is in a mostly good spot right now. Gameplay-wise, this plugin already works very fucking well. And if you give me a choice, like, do I want to play with today's balancing or I want to play with 2014 balancing using this plugin? It's not even a choice. 10 out of 10 times, I would rather play with this plugin because the balancing is so much fucking better. There have been a few people that are not satisfied with the way this plugin works, and they've been complaining about the fact that it goes back to pre-gunmetal era balancing completely and absolutely. And, for the most part, that's not a problem. That's completely fine because most weapons in this game were better in 2014 than they are today. But there are actually some exceptions. And it's very important to note that in 2015, so after gunmetal, you actually had some weapons that received some slight buffs that made some weapons better. So, for example, the Cloak and Dagger. With this plugin, it goes straight back to 2014, and you actually lose the ability to pick up ammo packs to replenish your cloak if you're using that cloak. right? If you're using the Brass Beast, you don't have damage resistance when you're spun up because that was added in 2015. Now, these are valid complaints, and it does suck that some weapons actually get a little bit worse with this plugin. The majority of them get better, significantly better, but there are some exceptions, and that is a shame. Now, the problem with that, if you want to make a historically accurate version of TF2 balancing from a specific era, you can't really fix this problem. Because if you go to Tough Break, if you go to Gunmetal, if instead of going to 2014 era balancing, you go to 2015, you're going to have some slight buffs to a few weapons, like, for example, the Liberty Launcher, the Cloak and Dagger, the Brass Beast. These weapons get buffed in some way. However, some weapons also start getting ruined, and they start getting significant nerfs. So for every weapon that you would improve, if you would go to like Tough Break, you would also lose some weapons and nerf other ones in the process. And due to this problem, there are some people out there that think that we should say fuck you to historical accuracy. And instead of going back completely to a certain era of TF2 balancing, we should instead only be focused on reverting weapons if they get better. And basically cherry picking the best versions of all of the weapons in this game from all the different eras in TF2 balancing. And I gotta say, I'm already satisfied with this plugin the way it is. Like, I don't need any more cherry picking. Like, just 2014 balancing, the way this plugin does it, is already infinitely superior to today's balancing to me. But the single most important reason why we're doing historically accurate reversions is because that's the way this plugin works. That's the way the author of the plugin intended it to work. And I like it the way it works already. And I really like the idea of historical accuracy. I really like the fact that someone's actually going out of their way to make the game as authentic as possible to the way it was 10 years ago. I think that's a great decision, and I think the plugin already works on those merits perfectly well. But who knows? Maybe we'll be able to play on some sort of modified version of this plugin, and we'll be able to try it out for ourselves. What if we just bring back as many good weapons as possible, but we don't nerf anything that's better today? I think that would be interesting, and maybe we'll be able to figure it out and have some sort of democratic process decide on what we actually prefer. But all of that said, this plugin's already fantastic, and I recommend that you try it out. As far as I can tell, castaway.tf is the only somewhat populated server that is running this plugin. Castaway holds regular play sessions where we try to fill up the servers. So the best way that you can catch one of these sessions, and the best way that you can stay in touch and know when we're going to try to fill up a server and which server we're going to try and play on, is if you join the castaway.tf Steam group, and then you join the Steam group chat from there. Now, the Steam group chat, there's the home tab. Like, that's a bunch of autism. But the thing that matters in the Steam group chat is the game announcements, where we announce the session, we announce the server, we announce the IP. And if you are in a Steam group chat, you are going to get a notification when the play session is beginning. So that's why it's a good idea to join the Steam group chat. As of now, Castaway has servers in 3 different continents. We have America, we have Europe, and we have Australia. Currently, our best region, the region in which we have the most success actually filling up the servers and having some good play sessions, is Europe. So if you are in Europe, you have the best luck in joining a Castaway session that's actually filled up. And of course, you don't actually need to be European to join a European sessions. You can be from America, you can join. You can be from Australia, you can join. It doesn't matter. We have people all over the place to play. But of course, you're going to get more ping, and the times aren't always going to be convenient from you if you play on sessions outside of your region. Outside of Europe, we need some serious fucking reinforcements, especially in America. And honestly, I have no idea what the fuck happened to our American sessions. Like, we can't fill up servers in America no more. It doesn't make any sense to me. We've been on the rag lately. Ever since that fucking hurricane, too. We have been completely fucked. So, I think the entire American Castaway player base was locked in like Louisiana or Florida or some shit, and they got knocked out. They don't have electricity to this day, which, hey, what are you going to do? We need the troops to mobilize in America. So, if you're American, I'm talking to you right now. join the fucking server. And I'm sure there's 20 fucking Americans that are gonna see this video, so I don't want to hear any excuses. This shit better fill up. And as far as Australia goes, we only have like 8 in that region. But I gotta tell you, our Australians are some dedicated motherfuckers. These guys are gonna stay up until like 5 a.m. and they're gonna play with 300 ping, but they're gonna show up to sessions. They're the fucking cavalry of Castaway. So, if you get me 14 more of guys like this from Australia, I mean, we can fill up Sydney no problem. I guarantee you. So, if we have 14 Australians that are listening to this message, by all means, join castaway.tf and help us fill it up. It has been revealed to me in a dream that Robin Walker himself will join the Sydney server of Castaway, and he's going to usher us into a new golden age in the coming months. That's going to happen. So there you go. And the thing about Castaway is that we're not here for a day. We're not here for a week. If a server doesn't fill up one day, we'll be back the next. We're in it for the long fucking haul. We're going to make this thing happen, and we're going to make this fucking game great again. So once again, shout outs to Not in Heavy for making this plugin. It's fucking awesome. And shout outs to castaway.tf. And I hope to see you on the server where you can try this plugin out for yourself. See you there.